The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, February 24 to March 7, reveal that Billy Abbott will be in the dark while Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers fight back. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson's passion will also erupt, so let's talk about what's coming up in Genoa City. During the week of February 24 to 28, Adam will persuade Chelsea to open her heart to a reunion. Although Chelsea will want to take things slow, Adam will really turn on the charm during their romantic dinner. Since I and our spoilers say Adam and Chelsea won't be able to resist temptation, it sounds like they'll cap their meal off by hitting the sheets. Over with Audra Charles, she'll confess to Nate Hastings about her past with Holden Novak. Nate will be surprised over Audra's revelations, but he'll forgive her initial secrecy and deepen the bond they're building. Although Holden clearly has some lingering feelings for Audra, she'll set some ground rules with him. Audra is committed to Nate, so she'll warn Holden not to cross any lines. As for Victor Newman, he'll put Michael Baldwin to work on a mission that could offer Lily Winters assistance. Victor seems quite curious about Aristotle Dumas, now that he's been digging into the person who's actually behind Damien's companies. Michael may be tasked with uncovering more Aristotle intel, especially when it comes to any criminal activities behind his empire. Then again, Michael might be asked to track Aristotle down and convince him to meet with Victor. It's easy to imagine Victor wanting a one-on-one conversation with the mysterious Aristotle eventually. In the meantime, Damien will decide to stick around Genoa City for a while, so he may buy a place or at least make a long-term reservation at the GCAC. Damien may claim he's doing it because of Amy Lewis' illness, but he'll really be interested in growing closer to Lily. After Chance Chancellor learns Sharon and Phyllis went missing around the same time, he'll investigate a possible connection. That'll lead to some conflict for Mariah Copeland and Summer Newman, as they feud over what their mothers might have done to each other. However, it'll quickly become clear that Sharon and Phyllis are both victims here. Someone will be holding Phyllis and Sharon captive, so they'll wake up as hostages and will have to put their rivalry aside. Sharon and Phyllis seem poised to work together against the threat they're facing. There's no confirmation on Phyllis and Sharon's captor yet, but they'll fight back no matter what. Back with Victor, he'll have a warning for Nick regarding Sharon. When Victor sees Nick's concerns and watches him trying to play the hero again, he might worry Nick's feelings are becoming more than platonic. Victor may advise against a romantic reunion for Sharon and Nick once she's found. It's clear that Victor has very specific opinions on what his children and grandchildren's love lives should look like. Although Billy will want updates on missing Phyllis, Nick and Daniel Romalotti Jr. won't give him all the facts. Daniel and Nick might worry that Billy's going to make a mess somehow, so he'll be left in the dark on some things. Billy may not hear about Sharon going missing too, and possibly having a link to Phyllis' disappearance. During the week of March 3 to 7, fans will hopefully get more answers about Phyllis and Sharon's situation. Is that when Sharon and Phyllis's captor be revealed along with their motives? Whatever the case, Phyllis and Sharon might work on making a sneaky getaway, or maybe a rescue plot will form depending on what clues Nick and Chance uncover. Summer may continue to lean on Kyle Abbott as her worries grow, so Claire Newman's jealousy may become a bigger problem. It'll be interesting to see how much Claire can take before she lashes out. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of February 24, 2025 are here. Next week, expect Audra Charles to put down boundaries. Damien Kane puts down roots in Genoa City. Plus, Phyllis Summers finds herself in dire circumstances. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up next week in the CBS soap opera. Holden Novak Bard. During the week of February 24, Holden Novak and Damien will be sticking around Genoa City for a bit. Audra decides that it means she has to finally come clean with Nate Hastings later in the week. Audra has to set boundaries with Holden. Nate has already started asking questions about Audra and Holden. Audra did the smart thing and confessed before Nate found out another way. However, it seems Holden doesn't get the hint that Audra is taken. Damien Kane's roots. Meanwhile, Damien puts down roots in Genoa City. Victor Newman found out that Damien has control of multiple companies, but never built on his own. Sounds like Damien might have turned into a professional takeover man. If Damien is putting down roots in GC, then that could mean trouble for a lot of different companies in town. Phyllis Summers' dire circumstances. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis and Sharon Newman are both missing. By midweek, Phyllis finds herself in dire circumstances. That same day, Sharon is forced to make a difficult decision. The fact that Phyllis finds herself in dire circumstances suggests she really might be in some trouble. Could Sharon earn redemption by saving Phyllis? At first, it seemed that maybe Ian Ward was responsible for Phyllis and Sharon's disappearances. However, could there be another explanation? In any case, it seems that this is a great opportunity for Sharon to earn redemption and hopefully shut Phyllis up forever. Victor recruits Michael Baldwin to help Lily. However, Victor will have a warning for Nick Newman about Sharon. As suspicions mount about Phyllis and Sharon, Nick and Daniel Romalotti Jr. keep a secret from Billy Abbott. Week of February 24, 2025. Next week, Chelsea Lawson plots her next move with Adam Newman later. Adam pulls out all the stops to impress Connor Newman's mother. By Friday, CHH-ADAM gives in to temptation. It seems this couple could face some reunion complications, though. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Chelsea Lawson has finally decided that Adam Newman is the man she wants to be with and has decided to show him as much. Chelsea will decide to let Adam know exactly how she feels about him. Does Adam still feel the same? Adam Newman dream about a reunion with Sally Spectra. Adam recently had a Valentine's Day dream about Sally Spectra too. Adam dreamed that Sally had left Billy Abbott in Paris and come to Genoa City to reunite with Adam. However, Adam told Sally that he had fallen for Chelsea and wanted to be with her. Of course, Adam woke up to find Chelsea walking in the door. Adam talked with Chelsea and told her about his dreams recently. Adam and Chelsea also admitted to having feelings for each other. Chelsea wants them to have a special night now that they have admitted their feelings. Can Adam and Chelsea move on from here and make a life with their son who wants his parents together, is happy? Connor Newman may have orchestrated this. Connor Newman has wanted his parents together for a long time. After Connor got his OCD diagnosis, he had to go away for treatment. Adam and Chelsea ended up sleeping together on one of their trips to visit him while he was in treatment. This led to Chelsea and Adam breaking up with their respective partners at the time. When Connor and Adam got the opportunity to move to the ranch, Connor was all for it. Connor even suggested that his mom move in with them, so they were together all of the time. Connor knew that his parents would get closer if they were in the same house. Connor is finally getting exactly what he wanted. Adam Newman has done the pursuing so far. Adam has been the one trying to get Chelsea to agree to give him another chance for months now. However, Chelsea has been dead set against the idea because she was afraid of getting hurt again. Chelsea has now realized, especially after Victor Newman's close call with death, that she wants another chance. Spoilers suggest that Chelsea will pull out all of the stops to make sure that Adam knows exactly what she wants. Now that Chelsea and Adam are on the same page, will they work out their differences and have a better relationship this time? Will Adam and Chelsea finally get it right after all this time? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers' kidnapping will be explained as this double abduction mystery unravels. This is definitely a strange situation since both Sharon and Phyllis were fine when viewers last saw them on Valentine's Day. I and our fans will recall that Nick Newman found Sharon after she fell asleep while working in a booth at the coffee house. That was right after Sharon's romantic dream about Nick, and up in Phyllis' suite, she was already in bed dreaming about Billy Abbott. It seemed like Phyllis was tucked in for the night, but maybe someone barged in her room or followed her as she went somewhere. If Phyllis wound up at Crimson Lights for some tea to help her sleep, she might have been followed. Were Sharon and Phyllis both targets, or did one of them get tangled up in all this by mistake? Ian Ward has a beef with both women, so he would make sense as someone who'd kidnap Phyllis and Sharon. Since Ian's enemies don't know he's still alive, he'd have the element of surprise on his side. However, you'd think Ian would be more focused on going after Victor Newman after the way things went down at the ranch. If this is Ian, why is he snatching up Sharon and Phyllis instead of making Victor pay for nearly killing him? Nikki Newman would make more sense as a kidnapping target if Ian's stirring up another round of trouble. There's also the matter of Ray Wise seemingly wrapping his run and giving a departure interview to Sod. Wise claimed he didn't know what happened to Ian after he woke up in that ambulance, and just hoped that maybe the show would bring him back someday. It's a good idea to consider other kidnapper possibilities, since there's no guarantee Ian is making more mischief just yet. It's possible there'll be some other blast-from-the-past character behind this kidnapping who has a reason to target both Phyllis and Sharon. There might be some my and our history that'll ultimately tie in. Then again, maybe this could be a strategy to introduce someone new to the canvas. What better way to bring on a baddie than to have them snatch two key players in Genoa City? If the show intends to do a big umbrella story, perhaps this could somehow be linked to Aristotle Dumas and his upcoming debut. Aristotle is the shady owner of the companies Damien Kane runs, but he might have some kidnapper minions in GC and some mysterious motives when it comes to his involvement here. Whatever the case, Sharon and Phyllis will find themselves stuck in close quarters together once they wake up on the floor of a grimy apartment somewhere. The Young and the Restless spoilers say this storyline will bring some shocking news, so stick with us for more Snatcher predictions and updates on all the latest developments. We'll have all the exciting Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news you need, so make us your favorite hotspot. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Ian Ward may return for kidnapping revenge. Is Ian behind Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers' disappearance? Since everyone in Genoa City believes Ian is deceased, he certainly has a golden opportunity to seek vengeance. When Ian made his last appearance, he opened his eyes and gasped for air in the back of an ambulance. Of course, nobody ever said anything about Ian's escape, hospital recovery, or arrest. Even Victor Newman, Eric Braden, believes Ian is gone for good, so Ian has seemingly pulled off quite a trick for his freedom. Considering how charming Ian is, he might have roped the right people into helping him fake his demise so he could recover in hiding. Perhaps Ian's had enough time to recuperate and launch another payback plot. Although Ray Wise's exit interview with Sode made it seem like that ambulance ride was the end of his run, maybe he was trying to throw viewers off the trail. It wouldn't be the first time an actor misled fans a bit for the sake of protecting an upcoming story twist. If that's the case, Ian might be back to cause more chaos. Since Ian is such a wild card, you can never really count him out when danger strikes. The show clearly wanted to leave the door open for more Ian drama. It would have been easy to just kill Ian off and be done with it, but Y&R must have had a reason for confirming Ian was alive in the back of that ambulance. Phyllis already went through a car crash because of Jordan and Ian's plot, which put her in a coma briefly. Sharon also endured a total nightmare thanks to Ian and Jordan, which included her time held hostage in the sewer. Now, Sharon and Phyllis' loved ones will have to worry all over again. Someone is holding Phyllis and Sharon captive, so it'll be interesting to see if Ian is to blame. Our Y and R predictions point to some dramatic moments for Sharon and Phyllis no matter what, so we'll bring you updates on any horrible news and shocking showdowns ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis and Sharon will have to tackle this crisis together, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease an upcoming wedding in Genoa City might take an unexpected turn with a runaway bride scenario. That could spell trouble for one character's big day. As we anticipate the next nuptials, the possibility of a dramatic fallout looms large. Let's explore how this intriguing situation could unfold. Once burned, twice shy? When Abby Winters and Devin Winters tied the knot, Audra Charles made her stance on marriage quite clear. Despite her attempts to downplay the significance of marriage, labeling it as outdated and overrated, she ironically ended up catching the bouquet at the wedding reception. Fast forward to the present, and we see Holden Novak expressing surprise at Audra's decision to enter a serious relationship with Nate Hastings. This development is likely just as shocking for Audra, who once embraced a carefree, no-strings-attached lifestyle, especially after her past with Noah Newman left her feeling burned. She even claimed to have miscarried Noah's baby if, indeed, she was telling the truth. Audra doesn't give her heart easily. Audra is cautious about opening her heart, knowing that doing so leaves her vulnerable to pain. Given this perspective, the narrative appears to be leading her toward a devastating cliff. She missed the opportunity to be honest with Nate about her history with Holden, opting instead to remain silent. It's evident that Audra harbors additional hidden truths from her past that she desperately wishes to keep under wraps. When she was in a difficult situation while working for Tucker McCall, Holden came to her rescue, and that predicament must have been quite serious. Could Audra have gone to prison? Could Audra have faced prison time if Holden hadn't stepped in? If that's the case, she could still be looking at potential charges depending on what unfolds later. Meanwhile, Audra's perspective on marriage might shift, leading her to consider saying yes to Nate. It's not hard to envision Nate securing an engagement with Audra in the near future. This could even pave the way for a swift wedding if they wish to exchange vows before Amy Lewis passes away. Given that Amy has taken on a maternal role in Audra's life, it's entirely plausible that they would rush to organize their ceremony so she can be part of their special day. But we all know what happens to happily ever after on soaps, and what they say about the best laid plans. Things may not go according to plan. Nate and Audra's dream of walking down the aisle could be on the brink of disaster. What if the hidden history between Audra and Holden comes to light just when least expected? If Nate catches wind of all the lies Audra has been hiding, he might call off the wedding right then and there. This could send Audra into a spiral of heartbreak, leaving her in tears. That is, if she even shows up for the big day. Alternatively, we could picture a scenario where Audra becomes a runaway bride, fleeing from the impending nuptials as the pressure builds around her. Could Nate get stood up? Nate might find himself waiting in vain, only to discover that Audra has not been completely honest with him. Regardless of how the events unfold, the series has established a path that could lead to a wedding for Audra and Nate. However, with the recent introduction of a dubious character like Holden, the narrative is also prepping for Audra's emotional turmoil. This could very well spell disaster for her wedding plans, so be sure to keep an eye out for more updates and predictions regarding any impending troubles. Upcoming teasers indicate that Audra is facing some serious challenges in her future. It's been a hot minute since we've seen young and restless Ashley Abbott, and the character is still somewhat shrouded in mystery, given the update she laid on Abby when we last saw her. A new tease from Eileen Davidson has only stoked the fires of our imagination, and if our hunch is correct, her latest return will bring all new surprises. Ashley was finally stable enough to be released from the facility in Paris that Alan had set her up in, just in time to attend Abby and Devon's wedding. She was every bit the supportive mom, but wasn't quite herself. Her daughter picked up on her mother's uneasy vibe and questioned her about her mental health. While Ashley assured her that she would be attending the nuptials as herself and not one of her unpredicatable alter egos, she admitted that she still hadn't been able to completely resolve her issues during her time overseas. At the root of what triggered the alters is something in Ashley's past that's buried so deeply in her psyche that she hasn't been able to access or retrieve the memory. This suggests that it's something incredibly shocking or horrible. Of course, it was her interaction with Alan's ill-fated twin brother, Martin, that sent her spiraling into the Did nightmare that ultimately resulted in his death and spurred Ashley to agree to get treatment. Although Ashley has been mentioned here and there by the Abbott family members on screen, typically she's been away taking meetings and such. Her story has been very much on hold since Abby and Devon tied the knot. Save for a few scenes with Tracy and Diane, and the tantalizing tidbits dropped that suggested there will be much more to the mystery of what happened in Ashley's past, we've not had any additional updates on the character. Until now. In a social media post announcing her upcoming return, Davidson shared that she had been working a little and dropped a backstage photo in costume that had co-stars Laura Bell. But it was the next bit of the caption that we filed under things that make you go, The star teased, playing a lot. This definitely got our soapy senses tingling and set us to wondering if Davidson will be portraying Ashley when she returns, or another of Ashley's alters. Judging from the look, this could be a new alter, or even the fiery Ms. Abbott, who battled for control in the past. Check out her post here. Whether Ashley returns as herself or an alter, we can't wait to get a little bit more insight as to what's been going on with her, and where her story may ultimately be heading on Young and Restless. To the Young and the Restless alums, Justin Hartley and Shemar Moore star on primetime series. Hartley is the lead on Tracker, while Moore leads SWAT. CBS announced a renewal for Tracker, while SWAT's fate has not been decided. Leading men. Tracker has been renewed for a third season. Hartley portrays Coulter Shaw, a reliable lone wolf survivalist who relies on his instincts to track down the missing and claim rewards, all while being driven by his troubled past. Determined and relentless, Coulter will do whatever it takes to complete the job. CBS reports that Tracker attracts an average of 18 million multi-platform viewers, marking a 4% increase from the last year. Originally set to conclude last May following a cancellation reversal and a final 7th season pickup, SWAT unexpectedly secured a Season 8 renewal. Inspired by both the television series and feature film, SWAT stars Moore as Daniel Hondo Harrelson, a former Marine and native Angelino serving as a SWAT sergeant. Leading an elite tactical unit that acts as law enforcement's last line of defense in Los Angeles, Hondo grapples with balancing his loyalty to his community and his dedication to his fellow officers. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. In 1979, a difficult decision had to be made by Melody Thomas Scott. The 22-year-old, already a showbiz veteran who had worked with everyone from John Wayne to Alfred Hitchcock, had to choose between a sitcom pilot and a role on The Young and the Restless. And what a smart move she made. Not only did the primetime series never actually get picked up, but relocating to Genoa City made Scott a daytime icon. As I look back, I am first and foremost filled with gratitude to the show's late, great co-creators, William J. Bell and Lee Philip Bell, for entrusting me with the role of Nikki Reed Newman. This experience, she continues, has given me the opportunity to play the role of a lifetime and create a cherished extended family made up of fellow cast members, our treasured crew, and loyal fans who have never wavered in their support of Nikki or me. Today, Scott is, of course, a revered Hollywood veteran. But she admits that back when she started on the show, she already saw herself as a seasoned old pro. "I was considered a baby," she told CBS Los Angeles in 2019, "but I had been acting since I was 3, so I thought I knew everything there was to know about show business." "Well, let me tell you," she added, "I did not." Scott sure learned, though, and by this point, she has left in her wake more than 4 decades of incredible storylines, bizarre plot twists, and enough shed tears to fill a river twice. And yet, she remains just as intrigued by her alter ego as the audience is. No matter what heights Nikki reaches, she told People in 2019, she's still, underneath it all, pretty naive. Even though she's learned how to use her femininity, her money, and her standing in the community to her benefit, she's still pretty lost. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Phyllis Summers seems to have disappeared. She didn't notify her children, Daniel Romalotti and Summer Newman, of any out-of-town plans. Obviously, they're starting to worry. Phyllis seems to be MIA. Fans have begun to notice that Phyllis has mysteriously fallen silent on the soap, seemingly disappearing from the scene, sparking speculation about whether there's a darker reason lurking beneath the surface. Some viewers even suspect it could be connected to the return of another character. Recently, Phyllis' children, Daniel and Summer, remarked on her unexpected quietness, coinciding with her plans for a family breakfast. The CBS soap's fans have pointed out that it's unusual for the show to draw attention to a character's absence without hinting at an impending twist. This is leading many to wonder if there's a more sinister motive at play. Has Ian kidnapped Phyllis? Some fans are beginning to speculate that Phyllis' sudden disappearance may be linked to Ian Ward. As previously mentioned, the character appeared to have met his end on the soap after making a comeback just months earlier. Yet, in a surprising twist, Ian opened his eyes in the ambulance and may have made a daring escape, suggesting that this might not be the last time viewers see him. At that moment, it seemed that actor Ray Wise was considering a hiatus from the role following Ian's resurrection. Nevertheless, Wise reassured fans that he was open to returning. Naturally, if the soap intended for his absence to be brief, Wise likely couldn't reveal too much about the storyline. Is it too soon for Ian's return, and does he have more than one target? Fans have taken to Reddit, buzzing with speculation about whether Ian could be linked to Phyllis' puzzling disappearance. One user posed the question, "Who believes Ian has taken Phyllis?" This sparked a flurry of similar theories among the community. Some fans speculated that if Ian was indeed involved, Phyllis might not be the only one in peril. Conversely, others felt it was premature for Ian to make a comeback. Meanwhile, alternative theories emerged regarding Phyllis' fate. At the time of her vanishing, some believed she might have been tailing Christine Williams and Danny Romalotti or attempting to surprise Billy Abbott in Paris. Fans continued their conversation. Recent comments on the latest post featured remarks like, "I really hope that's not the case because I was actually relieved to see that storyline wrap up. We all know he'll return eventually, but it feels too soon." Isn't it curious how Daniel, Summer, and Chance Chancellor are all worried about her? Summer knocks on her door at the GHAC to no response. Again, Chance demonstrates his lack of common sense by not grabbing a key from the front desk to check her room. Seriously? While you're at it, why not report her as a missing person at headquarters? Has anyone seen Sharon? My mind immediately went to one question. Has anyone spotted Sharon Newman? I can't shake the feeling that he might have taken both of them, possibly keeping them apart. They really ought to reach out to Nick Newman because Chance is unlikely to track them down. What if he decides to drug her with PCP and brainwash her? She could return as a free-spirited hippie, spouting off about spirituality and joining some new age cult. Just imagine Phyllis as a quirky hippie With the recent buzz about Ian and TJW seemingly disappearing, it's likely they're still lurking around, plotting something. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of February 24, 2025 are here. Next week, expect Audra Charles to put down boundaries. Damian Kane puts down roots in Genoa City. Plus, Phyllis Summers finds herself in dire circumstances. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up next week in the CBS soap opera. Holden Novak Bard. During the week of February 24, Holden Novak and Damian will be sticking around Genoa City for a bit. Audra decides that it means she has to finally come clean with Nate Hastings. Later in the week, Audra has to set boundaries with Holden. Nate has already started asking questions about Audra and Holden. Audra did the smart thing and confessed before Nate found out another way. However, it seems Holden doesn't get the hint that Audra is taken. Damian Kane's roots. Meanwhile, Damian puts down roots in Genoa City. Victor Newman found out that Damian has control of multiple companies, but never built on his own. Sounds like Damian might have turned into a professional takeover man. If Damian is putting down roots in GC, then that could mean trouble for a lot of different companies in town. Phyllis Summers' dire circumstances. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis and Sharon Newman are both missing. By midweek, Phyllis finds herself in dire circumstances. That same day, Sharon is forced to make a difficult decision. The fact that Phyllis finds herself in dire circumstances suggests she really might be in some trouble. Could Sharon earn redemption by saving Phyllis? At first, it seemed that maybe Ian Ward was responsible for Phyllis and Sharon's disappearances. However, could there be another explanation? In any case, it seems that this is a great opportunity for Sharon to earn redemption and hopefully shut Phyllis up forever. Victor recruits Michael Baldwin to help Lily. However, Victor will have a warning for Nick Newman about Sharon. As suspicions mount about Phyllis and Sharon, Nick and Daniel Rumalotti Jr. keep a secret from Billy Abbott. Week of February 24, 2025. Next week, Chelsea Lawson plots her next move with Adam Newman later. Adam pulls out all the stops to impress Connor Newman's mother. By Friday, CADM gives in to temptation. It seems this couple could face some reunion complications, though. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Not one, but two women are missing this week on Young and Restless, and their families have a lot of questions. Plus, the latest preview reunites Chelsea and Adam, while Lily and Damian get to know one another a little better. She, however, knows more about him than he realizes. Daniel became concerned when he couldn't get in touch with his mother, and both he and Summer feared something had happened to Phyllis. Even Billy began to worry about his ex when he was informed of the situation. Chance was on the case, and the fact that he took Phyllis' disappearance seriously wasn't a good sign. Next week, things go from bad to worse, as Phyllis isn't the only one missing. Coming up, Daniel says, Sharon and our mother are both missing. I mean, do you think there's something more to this? Nick, standing with Summer, replies, it seems like a weird coincidence. Daniel replies, yeah, why would the two of them go anywhere together? They hate each other. Maria, beside Chance, muses, unless one of them didn't go willingly. Of course, there is another possibility. Could Ian Ward be involved? Damian and Holden were set to leave Genoa City behind, but before they could depart, Lily Winters caught Damian's eye. After a lot of talk, Damian finally convinced her to have dinner with him, but he had no idea Lily had a hidden agenda. Victor filled her in on Damian's overnight success in business, and both Lily and Victor want to know more about how it really happened. Coming up, Damian says to Lily, I told you all about my family drama. She nods, yes, you did. He continues, and yet, I still know so very little about you. Are you involved with anyone? romantically. Finally, as Billy and Sally have found romance together, it seems so have their exes. Over a romantic candlelit dinner, Adam says to Chelsea, "Look at us. Who thought that we would be here?" Chelsea replies, "Definitely not me." The young and the restless spoilers shock in the simmering heat of a Genoa summer. As shadows lengthened and danger lurked behind every corner, Victor stepped into a role he never truly asked for, a guardian amid a city spiraling into chaos. Once the bastion of order, Genoa had slowly crumbled after Paul and Ray's departure. The streets that had once whispered promises of safety now echoed with the menace of unsolved kidnappings. The local police, overwhelmed and disorganized, were powerless in the face of mounting criminal activity. In this tumult, even chance, once a trusted aid, was only seen as a temporary patch, far from capable of taking up the mantle of a true police chief. Victor's determination was palpable, his eyes hardened by years of navigating the labyrinth of crime and corruption. He fixed on a new target. The culprit, he declared without hesitation, was none other than Aristotle Dees, a man whose origins in Los Angeles had always marked him as an outsider in Genoa. But Aristotle's influence ran deep. His connections with notorious figures like Damon and Holden only deepened the suspicions surrounding him. Living in the same city as his criminal accomplices, Dees had managed to weave a web of illicit activities that had finally ensnared two innocent souls, Phyllis and Sharon, who had become the latest victims in a string of kidnappings. Victor's plan was as clear as it was ruthless: track down Dumas and deliver a lesson that would resonate as a warning to all who dared disrupt the fragile balance of power in Genoa. His quest was more than a mere act of retribution. It was a statement of defiance against a society that had allowed itself to be overrun by lawlessness. Yet, as with every tale of heroism and vendetta, layers of mystery began to accumulate. Among the whispered rumors that crisscrossed the darkened alleys of Genoa, one name emerged with an unsettling frequency: Ian Ward. Some of the more persistent observers noted an odd detail: a fleeting moment when Ian, while boarding an ambulance to rush to the hospital, had opened his eyes, his gaze lingering with an enigmatic spark. What had seemed like a minor, almost incidental act in a moment of crisis soon took on the air of a portentous clue. Could it be that Ian Ward, often dismissed as an ordinary man caught in extraordinary circumstances, was more deeply entwined with the unfolding mystery than anyone had previously suspected? The ambiguity surrounding Ian Ward was no accident. A master storyteller, the writer behind these events, had long enjoyed planting seeds of doubt and wonder in the minds of fans. With deliberately open-ended details such as Ian's mysterious behavior in the ambulance, the narrative allowed room for speculation, inviting viewers and readers alike to ponder the true nature of his involvement. It was a classic move, teasing the possibility of his return or reappearance in a later twist without ever fully committing to one theory or another. Victor's relentless pursuit of Aristotle Dumas was driven by a personal code of justice, a belief that no one should be allowed to prey upon the vulnerable under the shroud of bureaucratic failure. As he navigated the treacherous underbelly of Genoa, Victor's path was fraught with danger, betrayal, and unexpected alliances. Each lead brought him closer to Dumas, yet the labyrinth of corruption was intricate and deceptive. The connections between Dumas, Damien, and Holden painted a portrait of a criminal syndicate whose reach extended into every facet of city life. They were not merely isolated miscreants, but part of a well-organized network that thrived on the city's instability. With every counter, Victor unearthed clues that hinted at a larger, more sinister conspiracy. His investigations took him deep into the dark heart of Genoa's criminal world, where trust was as scarce as sunlight in the dead of winter. In one tense confrontation, Victor found himself face to face with one of Dumas's lieutenants in a dimly lit warehouse on the outskirts of the city. The air was thick with the smell of oil and decay, and every shadow seemed to conceal a threat. The lieutenant, trembling under Victor's unyielding stare, muttered fragments of information that implicated not only Aristotle Dees, but also hinted at the potential involvement of figures like Ian Ward. Despite the mounting evidence against Dumas, the specter of doubt regarding Ian Ward loomed large in the public consciousness. How could a man who had seemingly acted with urgency, rushing toward a hospital in an ambulance, be implicated in such a heinous crime? To some, it was a perfect red herring, a distraction engineered by the writer to keep the audience guessing. The enigmatic expression on Ian's face, observed during that fateful moment, was a tantalizing detail left to fuel endless debate among fans and critics alike. It was as if the narrative itself was daring its audience to challenge the official version of events, to look beyond the obvious and consider alternative explanations. As Victor's investigation progressed, the stakes escalated dramatically. Each new piece of evidence not only tightened the noose around Aristotle Dumas, but also began to weave Ian Ward's character into the broader tapestry of intrigue. In clandestine meetings, whispered conversations in smoky back rooms, and covert surveillance operations, the names of these two men were repeatedly mentioned in the same breath, each representing a different facet of Genoa's descent into lawlessness. Victor's personal vendetta was more than just a mission to save Phyllis and Sharon. It was a stand against an emerging order where power was wielded by those who operated above the law. His pursuit was relentless, driven by a mix of personal grief, a sense of duty, and a burning desire to restore order. The urgency in his mission was palpable. Every minute that Phyllis and Sharon remained in the clutches of their captors was a minute in which the moral fabric of Genoa was further torn asunder. In a city where corruption and chaos reigned supreme, Victor's campaign against Dumas was emblematic of a larger struggle, a battle between anarchy and order, between the opportunistic exploitation of weakness and the timeless quest for justice. Even as Chance, the interim law enforcement figure, struggled with the limitations of his authority, Victor's uncompromising resolve shone like a beacon of hope. His actions, bold and decisive, ignited a spark of resistance among those who had long been resigned to living in fear. The story, however, was far from a simple tale of good versus evil. It was a narrative layered with moral ambiguities, where every character, from the enigmatic Ian Ward to the shadowy Aristotle Dees, embodied the complex interplay of intentions and consequences. The writer's deliberate choice to leave certain threads unresolved, most notably Ian Ward's mysterious behavior, ensured that the audience remained engaged, their imaginations ignited by the possibilities of what might yet unfold. As Victor's pursuit of Aristotle Dees reached its fevered pitch, Genoa itself became a character in the drama, a city defined by its resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity, yet simultaneously marred by its vulnerabilities. Victor's crusade was not merely a solitary fight. It was a rallying cry for all those who refused to be cowed by the encroaching darkness. With each step closer to Dees, Victor edged nearer to the truth, a truth that was as convoluted as it was compelling, demanding sacrifices and challenging the very notion of justice. The stage was set for a dramatic showdown, a confrontation that promised not only to expose the true mastermind behind the kidnappings, but also to unmask the hidden agendas of those once thought to be mere bystanders. Victor's journey was one of moral complexity and unyielding determination, a quest to restore balance to a city teetering on the brink of chaos. In the midst of the ensuing maelstrom, the ambiguous figure of Ian Ward lingered, a wild card in a narrative already brimming with twists and turns. Ultimately, the story of Genoa in these turbulent times was far from over. As Victor vowed to track down Aristotle Dees and deliver his own brand of justice, the open-ended mystery surrounding Ian Ward ensured that the narrative would continue to evolve, keeping the audience in a perpetual state of anticipation.